Hey,
Hey, what's up?
how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm having a good day. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for willing to do this.
Of course, of course.
So I know you're originally from Arizona, and when did you move to LA?
I moved to Los Angeles right after college, so I guess that would have been maybe 5 years ago. 5 years ago. It still feels like I'm brand new, but yeah, I guess it's been about 5 years now. As long as I can remember, I knew that I wanted to be an actor. Um, but yeah, I knew specifically voiceover. Probably discovered that in high school is when I kind of had the aha moment that that's a thing that's possible. So I always knew the plan was to come to Los Angeles, try and work in voiceover. So that was the ultimate goal. Yeah.
hmm And what was the any kind of first paid job that you had?
My first paid job as an actor, you know what I think it was? I'm pretty sure it was One Punch Man. I
Okay.
was it was very exciting. I was Madame Shibaba's assistant in One Punch Man. And I remember I was so excited. I printed out like a picture of the cast list with my name on it. It is still on my fridge to this day. I was so excited. And it was, yeah, that was my first. That was really, really exciting. Because the majority of the session, because Madame Shabab was assistant, probably had one or two lines. So the majority of the session was doing incidentals, which are, just random characters throughout, and a lot of those incidentals were just efforts,
Yeah.
and that was something that I know how to act, I know how to do scene work, but that's something that was very, very new to me, was doing efforts like running efforts or shocked reactions, or just breathy efforts. So it was a very exciting first session for me that
hmm
I'm so proud to this day. Yeah.
And did you take the dubbing easier or was it more difficult at first?
It was hard at first. I think especially because I'm so used to stage acting. I did a lot of theater, stage acting growing up, improv comedy, theater for youth. So I did a bunch of stuff on stage where you get that immediate response from the audience to kind of gauge if you're doing well or not. And
hmm
so I think the hardest thing for me, doing starting out in voiceover, was the absolute isolation you feel at first, because you're just by yourself in your booth. The directors are in a different room, and I wanted that instant, like if I said a funny line, I wanted to hear an instant laugh, or if I just wanted to feel that connection from the audience at first. So that was actually the hardest part for me getting started, was feeling that difference between voiceover and on stage acting. It took a moment, but I think it's fun. It's a fun sort of puzzle to try and fit the technicals of the lip flaps and matching the emotion. I've always found that really, really fun, a
Right.
fun challenge.
Well, I was just about to ask, did you take classes with Julie Madalena before all that?
I love Julie. Yes, yeah, I have. I I I was Julie's. I don't know if you know this. I was Julie's assistant for many years.
Oh no.
I was her personal assistant. Yeah, I love Julie. For about 2 or 3 years, it was after I got started in voiceover. So I met her through voiceover, took classes with her, took private lessons with her. But yeah, I eventually became her assistant and helped her, organize her schedule, do her private lessons. And I worked with her for, I think, 2 years.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I watched your interview with her.
Oh,
And
thanks.
I was like, yeah, Julie.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yeah. So it was terms of the chronological
Okay.
timeline was Kuroko
Oh,
basketball.
Kuroko's basketball. That was actually very recent.
Okay.
I think that was this year or last year, but it's interesting because I think because it's an older show, sometimes that shows up like as one of my first things on like IMDb and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that was actually very recent. It was really exciting because a lot of people I love very much are, at the helm of this show. So Jalen, Koi are all, directing and writing. Ryan is helping writing, And so it's a lot of my very close friends who I love very much, um, creating this really magical show. So that one is also very special to me because of that reason. Also, it's fun to be in a sports anime.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, so after One Punch Man, then what was the next sort of major role that you had?
Who was I don't remember, but yeah, I remember doing a lot of live action dubs after that. My
Okay.
next big anime, I was Elsem in Grand Blue Fantasy, and Elsem has been wonderful as a character because he opened a lot of doors. Because those Grand Blue Fantasy characters have a lot of spin-offs. So he
Hmm.
was in Shadowverse, so I got to do my first card game, and I love card games. I was big on Magic the Gathering growing up, so it's fun to be in a card game. And then he was also in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, so that was my first fighting game I was ever in. So I'm super grateful for Elsem and the Grand Blue Fantasy series. I've been very fortunate to do a lot of incidentals, which I love because I never know what I'm getting into when I
Hmm.
show up on that day. It's a fun, especially for me. I love improv. That's a big part of my development as an actor was doing a lot of improv. So getting to step into the booth and not have any sort of idea what you're in for that day is very thrilling for me. It's an exciting feeling. And sometimes you're gonna die multiple times that day. Sometimes you're, protecting people. I feel like I've died in so many animes, just off in the distance. I've been like crushed, shot at. It's great. It's wonderful.
Well, it's sort of on that topic. One of my signature questions is always asking what is the darkest headspace you've had to go for a character so far?
Interestingly enough, I think I think that would have been Delta in Beyblade.
Yeah.
He he's it's Beyblade. It's a show. It's like a kid's show. It's Beyblade. But that character, he's very dark. He's very intense, and I think of myself as sort of an upbeat person. So to really get in that headspace, I remember the director Tony. One of the things he would always shout at me to sort of get me into it would be like, hate them more, say that like with hatred, you hate everyone. So I would say Delta really got me there for sure. Super, super nuanced and just a really wonderful character.
And what was your experience getting involved with Pokemon Masters?
Also a dream come true. I have a Vulpix behind me. I'm a huge, huge Pokemon fan. It was my birthday wish every year growing up. I can say this now because it came true. It was my birthday wish every year to live in Pokemon World. Like I
Hmm.
wanted to be like isekai'd into a Pokemon world. That was before I knew what that meant. I was like, I just want to live with Pokemon and live with Pokemon. That was my birthday wish every year. So I feel like since I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon in real life, getting to work on a Pokemon show or game uh was the biggest dream come true. I'm I'm eternally grateful for that. It was so fun. Even Duroc is like the funniest looking character too with his hair.
Hmm.
I just love him. I I love him. It was a really wonderful experience.
And who is your, if you have a favorite personal like director that you've worked with for anime stuff?
I mean, they're all wonderful. They're all pros at what they do. I think the I love them all. If anyone watches this, I love you all directors. I had the biggest like fan moment when I got to work with Wendy Lee
Hmm.
because I was still very new to, and I was like, wait, this is Wendy Lee directing me. So I would say that was just a moment I will cherish forever. Um, just getting to work with Wendy Lee. I love her, and I think of her as a friend now, which is mind blowing to me. But yeah, she's an awesome director too. She knows what she wants. She gets me there. It was really, really nice working with her.
Yeah, like, how did you get involved then in Genshin Impact?
Oh, Genshin. Genshin is interesting because I got auditions for Genshin and I didn't get those characters, but something on the auditions I sent in, I guess, is the reason why I booked the characters I did book. So I got to be kurisu, which was really, really fun. And also, this is another one of those examples of I didn't know what I was getting into when you booked the character because they didn't even tell me what project it was or what character it was when I went into it. So I didn't even know it was Genshin when I was going into it. And so I got into the booth and they told me about my character and um the locations and I went, "Wait, these are Genshin words." So that was really cool. And yeah, it was completely a surprise to me when it happens.
What would like the most recent major anime series that you have well, two bigger roles in is obviously Welcome to Demon School.
Yes, welcome to Demon School. Another one directed by my wonderful friend Jalen. So Jalen and I are one of my best friends. We actually played Dungeons and Dragons together for many years.
Oh,
So it's fun to have him in a similar role to a DM. Now he's directing me. It's kind of there's kind of parallels there. DM, director. So we played D&D together for many many years. He's a wonderful dungeon master. Wonderful dungeon master. He's great at storytelling, which I think translates well to being a great actor and a great director and a great writer.
hmm.
So yeah, Welcome to Demon School is also one of those really fun shows. I love the cast so much. I love my characters. I love that there's music. It's always fun to have an anime with music in it. Sometimes I get to sing. That's cool too.
Did you audition for a bunch of different main characters, or was it specific?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it was another one of those ones where it's like you don't really know what you're getting into once you get there. Yeah, once you arrive and they tell you more about the characters you're playing, that's when it all starts to the wheels start turning.
Hmm. And who do you think you can relate more to, Opera or
Oh, Picoro, yeah. Definitely, well, there's definitely parts of both. With Picoro, I am very sleepy as a person. It's gotten me in so much trouble in my life. I'm a very, I think I'm a kind of a goody two shoes in a lot of ways. I don't get in trouble ever, especially in school. I would never get in trouble. But I actually got in the most trouble in my life in high school because I would sleep in every single day and then I would be late to class.
hmm.
And so after a certain amount of times that happens, you got kicked out of the class. So I got kicked out of the class. I got detention, like everything. And it was choir first period too. So I got kicked out of choir class. But then I just kept going to class. I just didn't get credit. So I do relate to Picaro in that way. Very sleepy. Opera, I mean, there's so much about opera I relate to. There's a very reserved, they're very snarky. I think I can be a bit snarky. I just love opera, yeah.
It'll be I know there hasn't really been anything revealed yet, even in the manga, but like what his backstory will end up being.
Yeah, that's always an interesting thing. Jalen always texts me when there's updates about them and opera in the manga because I know Jalen's up to date on the manga, and especially like we were freaking out when we saw opera in the school clothes
Right.
when opera's wearing their uniform back in the day. We're like, so cool! Oh my god, opera's so freaking cool. So I'm excited to find out more about opera. There's a lot of mystery there. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't been revealed. Even like opera's gender, they don't
Right.
really talk about it as far as I know in the manga. So I wonder if that's something that they're never gonna ever officially, place anything on, or if it's gonna be a mystery or sort of just it is what it is forever.
Hmm.
Um, I love that I resonate with that. I think that's really cool, and I love that I get to play a character like Opera. So it's it's wonderful, yeah.
Hmm. And what was your reaction to when Picoro's face gets revealed?
That was iconic. That was so wonderful. I was wondering when that was gonna happen too. Because for a long time I thought that those were Picoro's eyes on the mask, and then Jalen had to tell me, no, that's a sleep mask. And in the manga, it's gonna come off at one point, and he's gorgeous. He's beautiful. So that was a really fun scene to do. I just remember laughing so hard at that. Apparently, he's really strong too, right?
Yeah.
Picoro's like freaking strong. And Opera. I play very strong characters in that show. They're really, really tough. Very exciting for me.
And I think, well, would a sentence of a bookworm be before that?
Oh yeah, when did that happen? Ascendance of a Bookworm. I think that was, yeah, that was before, sort of sandwiched between, I think, Demon School and Beyblade. Maybe there's probably some overlap, but yeah, around that time, because we recorded all of that in studio. So that was before, before we
Okay.
started recording from home.
Oh,
Yeah, that was with Julie.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Julie directs that one. That was fun. That's when I started to realize that I guess I sound like a butler. There's been many butler type characters. Opera, Durock from Pokemon, Mark from Ascendance of a Bookworm. Something butlery about me, I guess.
What is the case with any kind of role where you've had to alter your voice significantly so far, if that's happened or no?
Kurisu from Genshin was not my natural voice. He's much older, gruffer. Um, so that was a big one for me. I don't often get to play like older gentlemen, gentlemen of a certain age. So that was a fun one for me to play someone older. Well, a good challenge, right? A good challenge.
Hmm.
And again, when you're doing a lot of incidentals, you play a lot of like beast characters or monsters and the attacking people. So that's always a fun surprise to pull out like a big monster voice or like like a scratchy textured demon voice,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, I do like it. I do like it a lot.
And you are the first person that I have talked to that was in Pretty Boy Detective Club, and I actually liked that show more than I expected to.
Yes, Pretty Boy Detective Club is underrated, I think. It's a really fun show, and not what I was expecting actually when I was first hearing about it, learning about it. I was expecting it to be more fluff,
Right.
sort of silly nonsense, maybe like an high school host club situation, which has a lot of depth too. But I thought it would be, fluffy, fun times, and it has that, but it's also very heady, very intelligent writing and mystery intrigue. Which surprised me, and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Was that also the case where you auditioned for the other main boys too?
I don't remember actually that one, Sosaku. That one may have come from an audition even for a different show. Like maybe I auditioned for a different show and they used my audition for that show as a reference for Sosaku because I don't remember auditioning for any of the other boys for that.
Okay. And what were
Yeah.
your, how could you personally relate to Sosaku?
Yeah, I I could be pretty quiet. I think the biggest thing about him is he's very quiet. Very he's there observing, and I can definitely get like that, especially in like group settings. I don't do well at parties at all. I'm definitely the type that if I even go to the party, I'm very quiet. I keep to myself for the most part. I like to relate to his artistic side. I think of myself as pretty artistic, not necessarily with visual arts. I'm not a good painter like he is, but I love music. Of course, I love acting too. So there's a lot of overlap there.
Hmm.
I really like
And
him.
yeah, well, and with how quiet he is too, was that difficult at times to bring acting to that?
It was because also a lot of the times I wasn't necessarily sure what was happening in the scene because he only speaks, once per episode or twice per episode. So I would get Tony, our director, would give me like a whole synopsis of then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and then you say this in response to that. And Sosaku is wonderful because a lot of the times he gets like the big reveal lines.
Hmm.
He's there and he gets like the big like drop moment where like, oh, this is what's happening. Like this is the big. So it was fun to get those lines. and like the hype of him not saying anything up until that point was
Mhm.
pretty exciting. Also, funny story about that. My first session for that show, I think he only had one or two lines for the first episode. So I was only scheduled for like two lines that day, right? And this was when we started recording from home. And my neighbor at the time was a carpenter who works from home. So he was sawing outside my window, and I was like, "Oh no, I only have to record two lines for this show. Oh no, what's gonna happen?" And it was this loud like saw, because I have soundproofing, but like not eliminate that outside my window. That's gonna cut through.
Mhm.
So I remember Tony and the engineer calling me, and they're like, "Uh-oh, what's that sound?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I did it like it just started happening." And we were like, "Okay, we can wait, see if it goes away. If not, we can just reschedule to later today. You'll only have like two short lines because he doesn't talk very much in this episode. It'll be okay." And I was like, "Okay, I'm so sorry." And so we were just sitting there waiting to see what would happen for a little bit, and then magically the sound stopped, and we were able to be like, "Okay, let's do this." And we were able to record that first session without problems, but it was very scary. It was a That's when I was really fortunate that he's a pretty quiet person, because if we needed like a full 2 hours, I would have felt so guilty.
Right. And is there anything upcoming that you can safely talk about, or is it mostly all NDA stuff?
Let's see. I can say this. This is new. I have my first writing credits. Officially, it is out. It is on television. I'm adapting the new season of Beyblade, Beyblade Burst Quad Drive. So that is super exciting for me. It's my first ever time writing for a show. It's every Saturday morning on Disney XD, and I am thrilled. I'm so thrilled to be doing that. So watch it. It's really fun. It's a really fun season. It's spooky. It's a different tone than you've ever seen Beyblade before.
So I know, of course, your career is just getting started, but do you already have an answer you think of what you want your legacy to be?
Gosh, good question. Huh. I think I want my legacy to be, I don't know. I think I would love to have a career definitely where I would like to surprise people. That's what I keep thinking. I keep coming back to surprising people. I don't want to ever be put in a box for this is what Brian can do. I would love to have a career where, it keeps evolving. I keep
Mhm.
surprising people with new character types they didn't know I could do, or new skills that they didn't know I had. I think that would be really fulfilling for me, and I just hope that I keep working and keep bringing joy to people, and hope they enjoy what I do. Yeah, it's a good
Mhm.
question.
Well, thanks. I'm glad that we got to do this.
Me too. And I want to commend you, because I was watching your channel, I was seeing the other interviews you do, and that is really inspiring. Like all the people that you've gotten, not only in voiceover, but all these different avenues of life and in the entertainment industry. It's inspiring to see you do all that, and great job. It's awesome work.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, seriously. It's really, really cool.
I'm sure you've seen that I've been trying to focus more on the newer generation of,
I saw that.
yeah.
It's really sweet. Yeah, it's awesome. I love seeing my friends' interviews. I'll watch it and be like, hee 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 hee, I saw you got interviewed. I'm learning a lot about them too. Like even Julie, I worked really closely with her for years, and there was things you asked her about that I had no idea. So I was talking to her the other day, and I was like, Julie, you worked on a movie in the Tenderloin district? I was like, oh yeah. It
Yeah.
was really cool. Yeah. So I love what you do. Thank you
Oh,
for doing these.
yeah. Now, of course, I'll be sure to send it to you and post it and stuff when it's uploaded.
Thank you. Cool. Sweet. I can't wait. All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye,
Yeah.
Chris.
Bye.